Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Once Upon a Game experience. I'm Eric. I'm going to be today's host and facilitator. My pronouns are they or he, and we're going to be playing a special little game of Fall of Magic. One of the reasons why it's so special is that there's a bunch of Kickstarters and things going on, and to specifically promoting indie games and really these small little things that are zines. And kind of part of that moment here and movement is Ross Cowman of Heart of the Deernicorn, who's a good friend of mine. They're letting me borrow and take a look at the Song of the Fugitive, which is one of these new variants to their old chestnut Fall of Magic. Fall of Magic I've played in this channel many times. It's still one of my all-time favorite games ever, and so this is gonna be the first time where I get to run this variant. I'll explain a little bit more about that going forward, but you don't want to hear. You probably want to hear more about these other two people I'm bringing along on this ride, my co-conspirators. So, Sam, take it away.
I'm Sam, twitch.tv/wizenfool, Twitter at @dwizenfool, he, him. I play games sometimes when people are kind enough to invite me onto their stream and do that. I'm super excited. It's been so long since I played a GMless game. I was just telling Eric before the stream, and I'm super looking forward to it. I've been playing like a lot of more like mechanically driven stuff lately. So it'll be nice to like just kind of take a break from that and do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't really have much more than that for right now. Yeah,
You don't need to.
That's what I
That's
got. I'm
awesome.
excited to be back.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've been on Eric's channel. It's been like we haven't played together in like almost a year
Yeah,
probably.
it's been way too long.
Insane.
It's
Yeah.
been so long. Sam and I are old gaming buddies. I don't even know what our first game was, but Burning Crowns definitely was the big one for us.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think, yeah, way back, early. I think maybe like a Dungeon World stream way back in the early Once Upon a Game days when it was way late at night for the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember those days. Oh yeah. That was rich. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Cool. And last but certainly not least, Leo. Hey.
Yeah, so I'm Leo, he, him. You'll find me sometimes on my channel, mostly playing computer games, RPGs, but occasionally I do pop up on other people's streams for tabletop role-playing games. I've been on Eric's channel a couple of times, and I'm currently on another person's channel, twitch.tv//Alison Howell, who we've been doing a bunch of D&D 5e one-shots, but the theme is everyone is the same class. So we've done an all bard one shot, we've done an all wizard one shot, and coming up in the next month we have an all monk one shot if anyone wants to check that out.
Ooh.
Nice.
Actually, a D&D all monk campaign. Actually, oh wow. Actually, oh that's interesting.
I feel like that's like the only way the monk fits in the setting.
Right. That just made me realize that might actually be pretty interesting.
Well, I can give you an exclusive then for my character. I'm really excited to play this character. I'm playing a Warforged training dummy monk.
Hey, that's awesome.
I'm into it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get ready to rumble here. As always, this is a one-shot story game show. You as people, Sam and Leo, you are more important than the game. So I want to make sure that you're having a good time, and you never feel like you're super uncomfortable unless like you want to be at the right level. So as always, I carry a couple safety rules that I want to just lay down real quick because I know it's been a while since I've actually had to do one of these speeches. So I want to make sure I know everything. I do a couple of things here. The first thing, as always, is the bedrock would be like an X card. So if there's any time there's anything that'd be super like hard no and you want to stop, you can communicate that through like hey, say it like hey actually can we X that out, or like privately message me because you're just uncomfortable because we're streaming and like you don't know and you don't want to ruin, you feel like you're yucking someone's yum when really like it's really hurting you though, and that just makes it, you're just not going to acknowledge the fart in the elevator. It's just like it's not what you want at all, and you gotta so that's the baseline one. As always, though, I prefer more of just like a general just check in with each other, and rather than a person being uncomfortable, it's up to everyone else too to be a little bit more vigilant about when people are maybe feeling uncomfortable. Maybe just check in, just ask and make sure things are going okay, or speak up for people who you think that are having a hard time at that point. Just a simple check in. Hey, are you okay? That kind of stuff, as well as lines and veils. Anytime there's a something like the most common case of that would be something like, hey, and we don't need to go into the violent part of this, but like this happens. Draw a shut on it, right? Rather than super get into it, that kind of stuff. So those are the big safety rules, as well as vigilance are like the number one things we want to do before we get ready to go. So with that out of the way, do we all agree? Like that's how we want to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. So welcome to Ball of Magic. Specifically, a song from the Axe and Fiddle. So in Barleytown, I brought it up on screen here so we can see. And let me shift click so we should center everyone to the map down here. Barleytown. There's an Inn of the Axe and Fiddle here, and it's known for the villagers of Barleytown to come together and sing songs of adventures and wonder. And that is sort of the diegetic cover for this cool zine by Ross about all these different songs, which are actually just variants to Fall of Magic that you can play through the game with their own setup instructions and their own characters and their own things. And the one we're doing today is the Song of the Fugitive. And the Song of the Fugitive is going to take us from there and tell us a story about Castle Stormguard, and specifically a criminal. So
I have a question. I don't know if this is outside of the purview of these songs. Are we supposed to talk a little bit about like when and where this kind of song would be sung? Like the kind of mood that's appropriate to sing the Song of the Fugitive?
That's for us to decide.
Okay. All right.
Why? Do you have a thought that you would like?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you feeling like a key? Like a key? Like is this a minor key?
Well, I feel like
tonality?
it's gotta be like a minor. I feel like it's some sort of minor key, but maybe like doing some weird like modal stuff. And the reason why I'm saying that is like I get the feeling that the way I was sort of thinking about it when I was reading through this is, if everyone's singing a song about this fugitive, it's probably the crime is not so simple, right? That was my first thought.
Sure.
And so probably there's a level of like sympathy to the person being chased, even if maybe what they did was wrong. So I don't like feel like this is the kind of song that you're like singing on like a happy like party day. You know what I mean? Like it when I was reading through it, the first thing that was like when you were talking about that idea of them being like the framework being songs told in the setting of the story, I was thinking of like the Song of the Fugitive as something you tell around the hearth fire in the cold of the winter. It's not something you're going out and singing. In the summer.
Yeah, like at a spring festival, or you do this in the winter after the barley's been brought in and it's dark and cold. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I kind of had an idea along similar lines. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I was thinking it's Castle Stormguard. The name alone like evokes like military. I was feeling something more like a where we decide which side we're on, but like being centered around the story of like an attempted coup.
Yeah. Well, all of these things are cool, and we will play to find out what happens and who these people are. So we're getting this is a good segue. So I have a handout, which is this song for this game. So both of you can see here. I would like Leo, if you would be so kind, could you read the black text of the handout of the Song of the Fugitive, and also just make sure you can see that in the Roll20 handouts.
Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. So like it starts with the fugitive of the law, that part. That allowed? Thanks.
Okay. A fugitive from law has fled into the coming storm. We gather together to bring them back to face the court of swords.
Yeah. Cool. So that is the gist of the song. So the first thing we're doing, just like any other Fallout Magic game, is we're going to choose our name and then choose our titles. So the name list has changed.
Mhm.
For this game, it's listed here on screen. You have your Alana, your Tully, your Mountain, your Brunhilde, your Zara, your M, your Graves, your Hassan, or your Lorelei. Any names immediately like jumping out to somebody? I mean, like, that's my character.
I kind of like the name Graves, if I'm honest.
All right.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Lorelei. I like that one.
Okay, Graves, Lorelei. I'm gonna go with Tully. I don't know. I don't know about Tully yet, but we'll see. Now let's talk about the titles. As always, like from Fallout Magic, you won't be picking the same person from the same kind of category. So like the part of the court, of the knights, of Stormguard, of commoners, of the tomb for this variant of the game. So you won't have a priestess and a guardian of the tomb, for example. Just pick one from one of those. Each player would pick one from those categories. One of those three from a single category, and don't repeat categories.
Got it.
So once again, I'm not going to read all of the 9 million options. They're all super cool. I'm sad to see the Crab Singer isn't here, but that makes sense.
No
They are a stallion. Although that makes me think that it's not really my place to say. I kind of think I'm probably going to feature a Crab Singer in this game at some point.
Okay.
Maybe it's a fugitive, maybe it's not, but a Crab Singer is showing up. All right. Yeah. So is anyone like super like that's my jam. That's me right there.
Yeah, I think I got an idea here. I want to go with the convict of the court. It's jumping out of me that kind of Suicide Squad, Dirty Dozen kind of feel. Send the criminal after the criminal. I don't know why Lorelei has been in this situation, pulled out of prison, what they were sent to prison for, but for whatever reason, they're the convict of the court.
That's good for me. Once again, we'll play to find out what happens. Why? Cool. Leon.
No, you go ahead, Eric, because
okay.
I see what you guys are feeling first, and I'll find one that fits in.
I'm gonna pick the Jester of Stormguard. I'm not sure why the Jester is on the hunt, but we'll see.
That was actually my second pick, so nice. I'm glad someone picked that one up.
I mean, the Jester going. I don't know, the Jester being with the criminals. I don't know. It makes sense. I don't know. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna put some gentle music on.
Okay. If so, you're thinking Jester for now, then?
Yeah. So I'm going to be Tully, the Jester of Stormguard. And I'll write these things down on the overlays so chat and everything can follow along too.
Okay. I have a couple of ideas for different ones. I think I'm going to be Last of the Knights.
Graves, the Last of the Knights.
That's a perfect name for the Last of the Knights character, right?
It is.
Yeah, it sounds like an older man as well.
How can I type? Sam, Lorelei, you are the convict.
Yes.
Stormguard, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to change it from black so it stands out more. I'm just writing them down here, and then we can.
Okay.
Graves.
Do you have a physical copy of this game, Eric? I feel like this map probably is absolutely gorgeous in print.
I wish I did. I actually do not. Sorry, Ross. But I do absolutely love this game. Looking for a quick, like, pop out font that read off the peach. Not happen.
Try
Maybe, like dark
like a mid
navy.
blue.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, we may just have to make do.
Yeah, just do best we got. Oh, actually, now that I look at it I just looked at it on the stream video.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't
stands
look
out
that
pretty
bad
well.
on this solution. Yeah.
It stands out pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted so people can kind of follow along. Awesome. So the next thing here, after we have picked our names, we're going to pick our tokens and then pick a token for the fugitive who we're tracking down. Right? So
Okay.
we're going to be choosing a character token. The character tokens are in this Roll20 module are up here in the top left. The reason why there's a thing underneath them, I'll just drag them down real quick. I think you get two.
Yep.
There's two sides to the coins, right? Any of these seem super cool?
Sword for the last of the knights.
Which one? Yeah, the broken one or the solid one?
Let's say the solid one.
The full one with the dawn. Okay.
Oh no, actually, I've got an idea for the character. Let's use the broken one.
Man, I'm gonna do the tree in winter.
Yeah. Awesome, because I was gonna pick the egg.
Perfect.
All right, then we're not done yet though. We need to pick one for fugitive. River or
I was thinking river candle.
Which candle are you thinking? The snuffed out one or the?
I was thinking the shining one. I kind of like
too.
the poetry of chasing the light in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm into it. Okay. Cool. So we have chosen our tokens now. Bring us back over to Castle Stormguard and get this kind of thing squared away on the stream so it looks nice and people know what's going on as best I can. All right. Cool. And then we have chosen our tokens and we have chosen our fugitive token. We have to give the fugitive a name from the list of names on the map.
List of the names. Where am I? Like the names of?
Oh, sorry. From the handout.
Oh. That makes more sense. Like, where are these names? What about Zara?
Yeah.
It's got a Z in it. It must be evil.
Yeah, got this. Z for bad guy.
I am currently putting little name tokens or name bars for all of the tokens that we have, so we can also follow along. Apologize for doing a little bit of the labor right now. We said Zara, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back to the song. Okay. We give the fugitive name a list on the maps. We place the fugitive on Castle Stormguard, and this is where our journey begins. When it's your turn, if you have a token already in the map, which we don't, you may play the fugitive as well. Okay, so this is the part, and this is the part of the change of the game from Fall of Magic. It's gonna happen. I know, Sam, you've never actually played Fall of Magic. Leo, I don't think you've played Fall of Magic either.
I have not. I can't convince people to try it.
Cool. So I'll explain a little bit how it works, and then this change on top of it. Okay. This won't take very long. Make it very simple. So what's going to happen is when it's your turn, aka when we're just going to figure out a way to go in terms of the order here. But then what you're going to do is you're going to take your token and you're going to put it on one of these red or reddish pink colored. I'm not exactly sure what color we should call it, but one of those colors. We will be putting it on one of those little prompts and then doing what the prompt says. So like what you inherit. Basically, you can call in other people to the scene that you want. It could just be a narrated scene by you. It can be totally kind of collaborative in that kind of way, but you would have final say because you're the person making the scene. As much role playing or as much as sort of like telling as you want, and we just kind of do what it says. There's things here that can change your character. For example, let's look at the Court of Swords real quick. Where we disagree is the prompt. There's a 1 to 2, a 3 to 5, or a 6, which means when it's your turn and you go there, you roll a die. When you roll a die, that actually tells you a little bit extra of the prompt that needs to be added and resolved than just necessarily where we disagree. Furthermore, I bring that up because there's a little like plus sign there, right? Like a little mark that says Dishonored, and that's like a trait your character gets.
Got it. And it's the person who sets the scene rolls the die, correct?
Yeah, unless for the next part, which I'm getting into.
Okay.
But as a general rule, that's absolutely correct. Traits. I just want to say one quick thing about traits. Like traits don't really like. This isn't D&D or Burning Wheel traits. There's no like trait vote. There's nothing. There's nothing like that at all. They're just ways to just fictionally position yourself in different things, right? To call back on. You can gain or lose traits over the course of the game. The thing that I wanted to bring up and why this makes it a song is that this game has what's called a chorus. And the way the chorus works is that when you place your token somewhere, you could ignore the prompt that's given to you on the sheet, and instead you could resort back to the chorus. And the chorus, because it's a song, right? That's why it's all right. The chorus of this game, because it's different choruses for each song, is the Court of Swords has come for you. And unlike what we just said, you will then choose another player to roll. And that person will roll in, and this will describe a little bit what's going on with the Fugitive. Okay?
Okay.
Got it. And is there...
You play the Fugitive yeah. I'll describe... I don't think I've described... Oh, sorry. Just go ahead and talk.
Go ahead. No. I think you were about to answer my question, so I'm going to let you go ahead.
I think I knew what your question was going to be. I think the question that you were going to have was, when do you move the Fugitive? And you move the Fugitive... Sorry. When you move the Fugitive, that's when your token is already on the map somewhere. If your token is already on the map in that location, then you can move the Fugitive to a place and do a little scene with them. And you would follow so when you move the Fugitive in Fall of Magic proper, you move them to sort of like the big name of the place. For example, with the ice rail. This one says a debt you owe. So you would take the place of rather than your character, you set the scene as Zara, and you describe a scene with the debt that Zara owes. It's real.
Got it.
Okay.
Can we still pull in other characters?
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
So Zara begins on that part. Hopefully I did a good job explaining this. Once again, this is the first time I've ran this song, but hopefully it works this time. Like everything I've said kind of makes sense. But anyways,
yeah, I learned better by actually doing rather anyway. So
sure, that makes sense.
I feel like I got it. I feel like I got an idea.
Yep, and probably the other big question that helps is that this game behaves just like Fall of Magic in every other way. So we're still going right to left, or left to right. I know things. I'm looking at myself in a mirrored copy of OBS. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so we're doing that. Yeah, so let's get ready to rumble. Lorelei, Graves, Tully. Which of us wants to do the first scene?
So let me just make sure. Basically, you have the main location, which is Stormguard, and then you have all of these prompts below it, right?
Right. Hall of Knights, Commoner's Hall, the Stockades, Tomb of the Storm King, and Court of Swords are available prompts.
Okay. I want to place Lorelei in the Stockades.
And to tell us what the prompt is?
The prompt is a sincere apology.
Okay.
And I want to pull in... I think I'm going to pull in Tully.
Yeah. I was super hoping that you would. I don't actually have to put my token there, but we can just have a scene together.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. And basically the scene I want to set is I think the connection I want to make here is for actually, you know what? I want to bring Graves in as well, as an addition. And the reason is because I want the scene set as like some degree of like how Lorelei gets pulled out of the stockades is the question at hand.
Okay.
That I'm interested in. And so I think for whatever reason, Lorelai is the one who is making the apology. And I think that's where we open on the scene. Yeah. And we see...
Listen. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you...
Yeah, so we see like Lorelai, I think she is like middling height, stocky build, but pretty unremarkable. She's like pretty dirty and beat up from being in the stocks, and is sort of perks up as the other two walk in, and is kind of like craning her neck in an awkward fashion because she's tied down in the stocks and is trying to look and see who's walking up to her.
Yeah, because unbeknownst, it sounds like regular footsteps as you're kind of hearing it before you see anything. And yeah, but then like turning the corner of like this dingy stone stockades, right? There comes Tully, who would be normally wearing a lot of makeup, a lot of bells, and the full like Harlequin kind of regalia of a jester, is wearing now like kind of like shadowy, like a black cloak, and so like they pull down their hood, and that's how we see it's Tully without their makeup. Their hair is still kind of like up, like ready to put a wig on, so it's all like tightly close to them, and they're holding a torch because that's the only way for them to see down here. And they look real close to Lorelai, and Lorelai, like, would you be closer to like the like? Wait, when we think of a stockade, wait a second, I'm getting a jail and a stockade mixed up.
Well, no, a stockade can we use interchangeably. Sometimes it means like stocks, and some people use it more as like a place for holding people.
Right.
So,
like,
I was imagining like stocks, so I could imagine that being like indoors or outdoors.
Okay.
But
right. Well, the point is that like I kind of sneak up kind of behind you, where it's like kind of hard to see, and you're not sure who it is until you see like the hood come down. I have the cloak, and I get real close to your face, and I say, "I put a lot of strings for you." A lot of strings.
What are you doing down here?
Look, you don't have to be saying anything to me. You're getting a visitor. They'll be coming here soon. Do me a favor. Don't make an ass out of yourself. Leave that to me. Leave it to the professional.
I think Lorelai is just like super confused.
Yeah.
She's just like racking her brain for like who the hell would want to see me? It's like I've run out of luck. I think she was fully expecting to be tossed into a jail cell and forgotten for a long period of time.
Yeah. Well, while you were gallivanting where you shouldn't have been, Lorelai, we heard from Ravenhall recently, and I'm not sure why, but they addressed you by name, and you have some friends in some places.
Oh. Well, you know how it is, Tully. I know that things did not go well the last time you tried to help me out. When I ditched you, when I ditched you in the Stormguard Mountains, I was pretty sure that I could come back and save you, but
yeah, pretty sure. I know. Yeah. Well, pretty sure isn't going to get my cloak back, my beloved family cloak. No.
I thought the plan was foolproof. I really did not think that the cloak was going to rip. I thought it was all going to go well, and I'd be coming right back around the corner. And you wouldn't be down if it's water under the bridge. Why are you down here? If not, I mean,
I'm just the messenger. I'm supposed to be giving you some good news, and I'm just telling you to act right and don't mess this up like you did in the past, right? And I say toodaloo, and like as I kind of leave, and I think because we hear like the ominous footsteps of like it's great. I think Graves is coming on the scene here.
Yeah, I'd imagine like his footsteps are like heavier.
Yeah.
Than,
are you wearing armor?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say he's probably in armor, but it's less like how we see like fantasy or romanticized knights. It's more like functional, so it's like a mail shirt and like shoulder pads and like gauntlets, so it's not like full plate.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think like I imagine him coming down a short flight of stairs into the room, and then he's a tall man, like 6'2", maybe 6'4", but seems smaller than he is because he looks like leans forward like he's hunched,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like maybe mid-50s. He's got a short, like salt and pepper beard and shoulder-length grey hair. But the most notable characteristic is he's missing his right arm up to the elbow. And as he is your character, Eric, is your character still there, or is he like scarpered by now?
No, I've skedaddled.
Okay, yeah. So as he like walks down, and then he just stands in front of Lorelei and just like watches her silently without any expression for a long, long moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she recognizes Graves, and just like her face goes pale when she sees him, and she's wondering, like, the first thought that comes to her head is like, Tully's the jester, like maybe he's just like fucking with her. This is not a good visit at all. Like, this can't possibly be.
Yeah. So like he just like stares at her, like seeing her expression, and then after a moment he like crouches down in front of her, like in the stocks, and just says to her, "If I'd had my choice, you wouldn't have been my pick. There are men and women down here that killers, hunters, poachers, thieves that I believe would be more useful to me. However, you're the one I saddled with." And when he says that, he just like doesn't like reaches like behind his, pulls out like a ring of keys and goes to like unlock the stocks.
Yeah, so like I think Lorelai tries to keep her expression neutral, but can't help but like quirk a little bit of a smile. And does he like take his time unlocking everything, and
he only has the one hand, and I imagine this is padlocked, so he's probably struggling a little bit to like hold the padlock in place and turn the key. So yeah, it's probably gonna take a long moment.
So I think it's like pretty obvious that she's eager to get out, and as soon as she does, she like takes a long moment to stretch, and she's like, "Sorry, Graves. I'm sorry you're saddled with me too. But I'm the only real choice for this one, right?" I think that's where we end the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just staring blankly at her, like really not impressed.
Yeah, and for the audience, for everyone, that is the sincere apology. She is sincerely apologetic that Graves has to deal with her.
Exactly. I love it. I think I have a scene I would like to go with. So I'm gonna go into the Court of Swords. Awesome. And the Court of Swords prompt is where we disagree. This is also a die roll one, so I'm gonna roll a die real quick. I'm gonna roll a d6. See what my additional prompt is, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I like to roll immediately, and I got a 4 on it. So that is where we disagree, and the question is who is right. And I think we see a it's kind of like a flashback. Like the time we're not doing this in chronological order here. We are in the true Court of Swords. The nobles and everybody is kind of talking to the queen. Missives, courtiers. Imagine sort of a very busy, yet stark, like very, very Spartanly clad, like room for like meeting and greeting people. I don't imagine the Stormlords as being very like ostentatious with huge banquet tables and things like that. It's very business functional, exactly. However, juxtaposing this is a beautiful gold raven that's kind of like where that flies through a window. It's like cause, and it like transforms into some sort of like missive, some sort of magus like character, who is immediately like everyone like kind of stops and like listens to this person unannounced, and they have some kind of argument. And meanwhile, like the camera kind of goes over, and we see Tully kind of like eating an apple like on the side, like eavesdropping on this conversation. And we definitely hear we definitely hear that the magus is mad, and we definitely hear that or the representative of this powerful person is mad. We also hear that something of theirs was taken, But we don't exactly. But I think we hear from Tully's vantage point. We don't hear that like what exactly was taken. But then we hear a loud bemoaned sigh from the Queen of Stormguard, being like, you can't be serious, not her," and like these things, and he's like, "Yes, it's the only choice for this matter," and she's like, "Never, I won't do it at all." It's like, "Be gone with you, you foul cretin," kind of thing, and she kind of like casts the Magus's missive away, like kind of like tries to smack it away, but you realize it just turns into like a bunch of gold feathers, like it's just like a message spell kind of thing. And so then like we kind of have that scene a little bit, and then there's like a quiet time, and I get a moment with the Queen of Stormguards, and I'm like, now is not the time to be making a lot of enemies, my queen. Perhaps building a bridge between us and Ravenhall would be a beneficial relationship, and we know how dangerous this could be. Lorelai could possibly have an accident on the way out, looking for whoever this missing whatever it is. You don't have to really tell me yet. At the same time, you could be helping the Magus. Maybe two birds, one stone. And she's like, and she kind of like stews on this a little bit. Very well. I'll talk to my knights and see what we have to, see what they think. Like, that's all I ask, and I go back to like eating another apple or something like that, and that's the scene of Who Is Right.
I love it.
Yep, that's cool.
Cool.
I have a thought for a scene.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just move my token. Hall of Knights, the best. So I imagine like this is Graves has been told the news, and he's made like preparations, and then this is like his spare moment before they have to leave. And the Hall of the Knights, I imagine like you were describing, like a very functional, like sort of Spartan room. But I imagine it's like a really long hall, and on either side, the only like ostentatious thing or ornamentation is like every few feet there's a plinth with a life-size statue of a knight, and they're clearly like start from like, the eldest like made statues, and they progressively get like more recent.
Yeah.
But as he walks down the corridor, the hall, and we see like some of the statues been smashed, and like the names that were engraved underneath have been like scoured away. And then he reaches towards the end, but like there's a few before he reaches the end, and he turns to look at one of the statues, and it's like a younger man. I don't know what we'd say in this world, but you know how like statues have like an unspoken language, like they hold certain things to represent like their station in life or the deed they did. And I imagine this person is like holding the regalia that implies they were royalty. And as it's a young man,
what is that? What is the symbol of royalty?
Oh, it's Stormguard. So I imagine it's some kind of
lightning bolt.
Really, yeah, I was gonna say like a lightning bolt in one hand and like a sword in the other.
Sure.
Like two scepters in either hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just like spends a long moment just standing, staring at this statue with the same like expressionless face of when he goes to pull Lorelai out of the dungeons. And I think like if this was like a movie, like the camera would pan out and then cut away.
Okay. Does the statue have both hands?
Yes, the statue has both hands.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, I should say, like I said, it's very clearly like a much younger man, both his arms, and this is royalty.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I like it. I'm here for it. Cool. So the Fugitive's on play now. So we could move the Fugitive if we wanted to. We could also do some other scenes here. I think I want to do a scene with Lorelai.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Because now that we've all
Yeah.
gone, I kind of do it as in a like whoever's ready to go kind of way, rather than just waiting around, just wherever the kind of story leads.
Yeah.
So I want to go to the Commoner's Hall, which has a beautiful, was that a beautiful dancer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So Lorelai, this is like you're free, right?
Yeah. So I think Lorelai wants to, like, when she gets out after having a bath and everything, is going to have invited Tully for a drink to celebrate her newfound freedom and
Yeah.
her excellent friend in this jester. And so, like, I think, like, she walks up to, I don't know, it's probably like a long table in, like, the hall,
Yeah.
I'm imagining.
Yeah, like kind of like a beer garden kind of thing, like those long tables kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, she, like, thunks down 2 drinks and,
Big old
like,
steins, right?
yeah, absolutely. And, like claps Tully on the back and is just like, oh man, this is gonna be great. We're gonna get away from Stormguard for a while, get out into the wilds. Oh man, it's been too long, Tully. I knew you were a good friend. Oh man. Oh.
I don't say anything. I just drink from the mug and hold back anything, and I say, yeah, this is going to be quite the interesting trip.
Absolutely. Look, most trips that I'm on, they end up being pretty interesting here and there. We find a way to make things interesting. She's like sort of saying this and like kind of trailing off, kind of saying a little bit of nothing as we like kind of pan over and see that she's just kind of totally distracted by watching this person dancing in the center as she's drinking. Totally probably definitely is not aware if Tully seems a little reticent to speak or a little bit more reserved.
Well, yeah, but I feel like maybe like Tully like tries to like get your attention again, like hey, listen, what do you think about Graves, or what do you think is like Sir Graves? He's gonna keep you on a tight leash.
He's like any of the rest of them, Tully. Don't worry. Like, do you know how many stuck-up old men I've, fooled one way or the other? I'm gonna probably end up taking most of his money. Like, let's be real.
Let me tell you, he's not like the rest of them. He's the last of them. Takes that to heart. I'd keep both eyes out on him.
I think I got it handled. I think I got him under control. Don't worry. Look. I won't implicate you in anything, but if things go my way and you're wrong, you're not getting a payout from me either. If you don't help, you don't get anything.
Well, we'll see. I say as and then once again I do like a kind of thing, and as like the song was kind of ending and the dancer comes over and I say like, I want you to meet my friend, as like I have a rapport with the dancer, and I introduce them to you, Lorelai.
I think like the normal sort of like natural like rapport and like kind of constant verbosity from Lorelai disappears as soon as this beautiful woman comes up and is introduced to her.
Hi, how's it going? Hey.
Exactly. Like there's like this moment where it's like she like Lorelai thinks like she's like supposed to like curtsy, but she doesn't know how to curtsy. Like she doesn't know how to and so it's like kind of comes out like kind of at this awkward half bow and handshake thing. And just like gives this look to Tully like, please help me.
Right. And I think that's probably where we end the scene, as I try to like save this thing I'm trying to do. Set you
Awesome.
up. Okay. Cool.
Go ahead.
I think I have one more scene that I would like to try. Unless you have something you want to do first.
I was going to suggest moving it, so we should do your scene first.
Well, I intend for this one to be quite short. I would intend for it to be between Graves and Tully, though. So, you want to join me at Tomb of the Storm King, Eric?
I think I could be persuaded. Yeah.
So I'm imagining like Tomb of the Storm King to be something like everyone can visit. You know, it's like in a small park. It's like religious festivals are held there.
It's like a memorial park kind of thing. Yeah.
Like national holidays and stuff are held there.
Yeah.
So,
like a square.
So I imagine, I imagine it as well. Like a lot of people like cut through there just to get to some place. And I like to think that Graves at some point finds Tully there.
Sure.
And I imagine it more like, other than the two itself, it's mostly pretty open. So Tully would see Graves approaching, like very purposely, like walking in their direction.
And I mean, Tully's wearing their normal like ostentatious striped pattern kind of clothes. So like, yeah, like they're easy to spot.
Yeah. So much like when he met Lorelei, he's like, when he reaches Tully, he stands there for a moment, just staring at Tully and says, I don't understand the politics that are at play here, Tully. But I know you're not quite the fool that people seem to think.
I'm imitating you. I stand super up straight. I'm like, yes, and I speak like very like regimented and robotically. Like, yes, it must be very difficult to see anything with this stick so far up your ass. So I like look around, and I was like, I'm just kidding with you.
I think Graves sort of smiles, but it's more like a Richter smile. Like it's more of a baring of the teeth at Tully.
Yeah. It's a pretty good impression of you, actually. Whether you probably would never admit it, but yeah.
But I think he also like reaches out with his like one hand and reaches to place it onto his shoulder and sort of like grips slightly harder than necessary. It just says, Lorelei is not to be trusted. That means if anything should happen to me, you are representing Stormguard. Don't let us down.
Once I like stand super up straight and I'm like, yes. Well, the last thing I would want to do is have the jester misrepresent Stormguard.
Yeah, and I think Graves of that just isn't willing to engage with Tully further, so just sort of squeezes slightly harder on the shoulder, and it sort of like releases him.
Life is like, I know it's not for you, but for me, life's a game, so be fine. We either gonna win or lose this one. And look, it's just great. Like I know you're used to being top dog as the knight of Stormguard. I say once again, like the knight of Stormguard, but this is even above you. These are the games of kings and queens and magus. This is, I don't know. I'm still trying to put the pieces together too here about how this thing is played, but apparently, one behind the going after is someone named Zara.
I'd heard.
Is there like when you say that, is that like you know who this person is, or you just confirming that rumor?
I think it's mostly like confirming the rumor, but I think
there's a little twinkle in your eye.
I think it's more like this Zara character. Like there had been stories before that no one could quite work out whether they were real or not. So I think it's more like I've heard the same things. Probably that confirms it for Tully.
Yeah. Well then there's probably an equal chance that none of us are getting out of this. If they're as good as they say, as the stories say.
Well, they're sending a fool, a criminal, and a one-armed man after her. Best hope it's enough. And I think like at that point, like he doesn't like say he didn't want to engage with Tully further, so he just sort of like turns like very like you say like very rigid and like military, like turns on his heel and like
Yeah.
stalks away or starts stalking away.
Yeah. Perfect. Cool. All right. Is that the scene?
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Let's get ready to move the fugitive, I guess, right? Or Sam, do you want to do a scene?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to move the fugitive if you guys are.
Yeah. Do you want to move him though?
So okay, explain to me one more time how that works. So I would then set a scene with the fugitive.
You would set the scene as a fugitive as your character, and what you do is you follow the dotted line. You can there's a fork here. It can split to either begin the mouth of the deep, or we could go to the ice rail.
I'm feeling the ice rail.
Okay. So the prompt here is a debt you owe, and once again, this is from the perspective of the fugitive of Zara.
Yeah. Okay. I may need some help from you guys here on this one. Do you guys want to help me a little bit on like what the debt is?
Maybe that's the reason she stole whatever she stole.
Yeah.
Like she did stealing of the debt.
Yeah. So maybe like where we pan in is we see this kind of like
Oh, real quick before you, I think we're still doing this, but just in case, Ross pointed out that we could also go back to the Stormguard Mountains, if that's an option.
We can go the other way too.
We can go Stormguard Mountains to then say like to Mistwood, to the Halls of the Woods and stuff. But I just want to point that out.
Do I want to go to the mountains instead?
I don't. I think it seemed like we had a way that we were already
doing.
Yeah.
I think we're good. We're good. All right. So I think we see Zara. I think I don't know that we get like a good look of her yet, right? I think she's like kind of like cloaked and hooded. Like it's that sort of the way they shoot something when they want to make it like seem like someone's struggling a little bit against the wind. Her like cloak's like kind of flapping out a little bit behind her. And like maybe she arrives at something a little bit like what we see on the map, this kind of like decrepit station covered in snow and ice. And she's carrying a bundle of something. Still unclear what. And I think that trying to think about how the debt being owed is math. You know what I think it is I think like we get this sort of whispers in the wind effect, where we like Zara is kind of haunted by her own memories, and the people that she's betrayed and left behind on her way to claim this treasure. And I think she comes into this sort of spluttering light of a torch under this canopy as she's waiting for the rail. And we see her try to kind of shake her head to get rid of the sound and like slam a fist against the side of one of the railings, and that sort of cuts the sound out for us. And the last thing we see of this scene of Zara is as she hits the wall, she loses her grip a little bit on this bundle of whatever it is she's carrying. And we get a glimpse of her eyes and see like true fear as she saves it and keeps it from falling to the ground and manages to pull it into her chest.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
All right. So then all our tokens come off of Castle Stormguard, and then we can all place them when we do our next scene on the ice rail stations. And just so for people following along, that's the freight car, the dining car, the passenger car, the engine, and the train station. I think I have a scene for Ooh, yeah. I'm going to the engine.
Okay.
Oh, no. Actually, the dining car actually makes more sense. I think it's actually another scene with me and Lorelai. We're going to the dining car for an honest conversation between Lorelai and I again.
Good.
Right. So we're on the I think we see sort of like kind of like a snow piercer, like big old train with a big old wedge on the front of it and just kicking up about like this huge mist of white. But then we go inside this nice little like quiet dining car that looks, it's kind of like a fancy. I think we're actually riding for kind of like first class, if there was first class in this. Mm-hmm. And we see I'm out of my normal. Once again, I don't know what the word is for the costume of a jester.
Motley.
Yeah, that is the actual,
motley.
Like check pattern.
Yeah. Right. I'm out of my normal motley. I'm in my sort of traveling clothes again, and only like I'm wearing like a little bit like shitty, like very like not. I look out of place in first class, but I don't like. But I have like the nice pretty little like bib, like my thing tucked in, and like just eating a nice little thing of like some chicken and stuff, and I'm like talking with my mouth full to you, Lorelai. I say, so this train goes to Astalia, which would be my guess if I'm running away with a priceless artifact. They're probably looking for a fence. Might be the best thing to do would be to try to catch him there. What do you think?
We got to catch her before Astalia. There's no way. If she goes there, I mean, look, Astalia is a big city. She could go to ground for months, years. Have you ever met Zara? Have you ever read a job with her before you got the whole no? She's good.
She was before my time.
Best there is. Best there ever was. Taught me a few tricks back in the day, but I think we can.
So I interrupt you real quick when we're doing this, and it's like some would say the last.
Well, yeah. And she like kind of takes a moment, like is eating a little bit, and it's like, look, here's where I'm at. We can gamble it all on rushing to Astalia, try to hope that we catch her and find her in the city, but I think she might be going across the sea. Whatever it was that she took, do you know?
Whatever it is, Magus is pissed. Gotta be something magical. Maybe
all I know is this. The last job I ran with her, she told me she was never doing anything like that again. Whatever this is, it's the real deal. I don't think a normal fence is going to be able to handle it.
Wow. Astalia is known for their fences, But it seems like if we're going to get to the bottom of this, and I like steal some food off your plate when you're not looking, when you look down, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Oh, that's good. We're going to need to talk to some people on the inside. We need to talk to some people who know Astalia.
Okay, I'm with you.
Do you know anybody?
I think I do. I think I know a guy.
Good, because the only person I know is a crab singer, and you probably don't want to talk to them.
No, oh, good Lord, no. Oh man, no, I know somebody. They're not exactly fond of me, but I think I can get them to help.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and that's I think it's probably the scene.
Yeah, I like it. I'm into it. I would like to propose a scene in the passenger car.
The passing landscape.
And I would like to bring Graves in, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And so, like, what we see is, we get like that nice landscape shot. I feel like where I'm seeing this map, I'm kind of imagining the train kind of running along like a bluff at certain points.
Oh yeah.
And so we have like this view of the sightless sea, where it's like kind of iced over in places, but kind of being broken up by the surf and the salt water.
like a glacier, right? Like the big old like
Yeah,
like the cliffs of Antarctica kind of stuff, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking like I don't know if any of if I'm from Michigan originally. I don't know if any of you guys have been like to any of the northern Great Lakes, but there are like a lot of these big cliff faces with just this freezing cold water that they drop off into. I'm imagining something similar to that. Um, and we pan
Actually,
in.
sort of like sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
Sort of
go ahead.
like the Orient Express, the movie.
Yes,
With all like the snow in the mountains, like the avalanches, and
absolutely. Yeah, so we like get a nice shot of that, and then we pan in, and Graves, Lorelai's very good. She would fool most. Probably, she's been around a few times, but she's very clearly walking through the passenger car, picking people's pockets, stealing a necklace here or there. Kind of it would be impossible to know, but you know.
yeah.
So yeah, toss it to you. What does Graves do?
I think like his default expression is just simply like staring disapprovingly at people. But I think like now they probably spent like a day or two at least together to reach the station. So I imagine at this point she can read him a little better, at least for like slightly clenched jaw. Like he's clearly angry, but he's not wanting to make a scene.
Yeah, so I think Lorelai kind of does like a little like jaunt and like almost skips back to like where Graves is seated, and she like plunks down into like a seat next to him, and puts a ring onto her finger and just like admires it very obviously in front of him, and she goes, "Why the long face? You want something?"
Lorelai, I did tell you if I'd had my choice, I wouldn't have chosen you. As it is, I'm trying to make the best of this. I would appreciate you not giving me reason to tie you up and leave you in a sleeping cart.
Now here's how I see it, Graves. Your girl has a once in a lifetime opportunity here. This seems like a free pass. Clearly, you can't do anything. I know you saw me. Look at this. I didn't buy this. Whatever this is, it goes way above your pay grade. I'm just gonna live it up while I have the chance. We both know that I was gonna rot in jail anyway.
A free pass. Interesting. So not like they sent the most expendable of us.
Could be that as well. But like I said, I was going to be left to rot in a dungeon. Look, at the end of the day, best thief I've ever met came out of retirement to get something from your queen there, and if she ends up stabbing me over it, better than dying of consumption in some cell, eh?
That makes sense.
So what about you, though, Graves? I mean, surely you've got something more to live for than all this nonsense.
Yeah, so I think again he has these moments where he pauses for a long time before speaking again, and he does that, and then so he just says like, I don't know, maybe more honestly than even he expected to be. He said, "This is a chance for all of us to right old wrongs. If you do well, you can go free. You can start your life over again. If we do this, maybe I can make up for the past." I don't know why Tully is here, but we got saddled with him as well. So
yeah, I think Lorelai was not expecting such a earnest answer to her flippant question, and so she takes a minute as well, and is like, "A new life, eh?"
Beat sitting in a dungeon.
Looks at the ring and looks back at Graves and says, "Does beat sitting in a dungeon." I think that's scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just real quick, I just want to say, you all are very good at knowing when to end a scene. I like it a lot. It's good.
Yeah, I think we've done a very good job here of like cutting off at like the perfect points.
Yeah, right?
Giving
that's all,
just enough to like interest people, but not explaining the whole.
Yeah.
Anyone else got one?
I think Graves still needs to do a scene.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I want to remark also, don't forget the chorus thing.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Can you remind me one more time? Is there a protocol to using that, or that just happens anytime someone wants to?
I'll read it straight from the rules. On your turn, if your token is already on the map, you may choose instead to play as the fugitive as you would the magus. Advance the fugitive to the location. Oh, I'm sorry, I read the wrong part. I need to go back to the top part. Here it is. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forget I said anything like that. Let me read directly from the chorus. I'm going to read directly from the rules. The chorus is a kind of story prompt that may be used during any scene. It has two parts, a call and a response. So the first part in the quotes is the call, and the second part there is the response. On your turn, you may choose the chorus instead of a normal story prompt. To do so, you say the call during your scene and choose another player to give the response. Before the end of the scene, that player must use the response to add an additional element to our story. The chorus may only be used called upon once during each scene and may replace the story prompt printed on the map.
Oh, okay. So if we don't want to use the prompt, we can. Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay, I think I have something. Yeah. So it's going to be Graves and Tully, I think, on a train station. Who boards the train?
Okay.
And I imagine, like, as they pull into the station, like, I imagine they're like doing something really like mundane, like.
Oh, I'm delivering mail. I have mail to send back.
Okay. Well, I imagine at some point, like,
and forward,
they get a moment to talk, and like as the train pulls in, I imagine. I imagine we're in like as you said, like the upper class, like first class car. But I imagine like further down the train, much like Snowpiercer, there's like a bottom of the barrel, cheapest possible
coach.
Like, yeah. But I imagine like there's a small group of men and women on the station, and as they get on, and like I imagine they all have like a small token that they show like the conductor to, like a ticket.
Yeah, like a coin.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably at a distance, but we probably recognize what it is they're holding up, being from Stormguard.
Can I add something here? Can it be the coin of a candle?
Sure. That's actually pretty intriguing to where I was going with this.
Because it's the light rail?
Mm-hmm. But I imagine, I mean, it can have a candle on one side, but I imagine on the other side, it's like it has a crossed sword and lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, of course.
I imagine this is like it was given, like, you know how many countries give like veterans like free passes for stuff or with identifying themselves so they can get like goods at cost and all that kind of stuff. And I imagine each of the small group of people getting on the train is they're clearly like veterans, but they're all missing, like there's one guy that's blind, there's a woman missing a leg, and like
I got a crutch or something.
Yeah. And Graves like doesn't look at Tully, and he's just like watching them board like through the window of this train. It says, "Are you old enough to remember the Battle of the Stormfields?"
I you hear like the thunk as I like put away like the message in the box, and I say, "What was that? About the Battle of Stormfields?" No, I had to read about it though. All they taught us about a couple years.
It's funny. Those men and women, they fought on our side. We they don't look. Sorry, Ron.
How do you know?
Look at the token they're holding up.
Yeah, we see the thing that you described.
Yeah,
earlier.
And Yeah, and it says this is the thing the history books don't tend to focus on is when many people go to war, they tend to levy peasants, untrained men and women, and they outfit them if they have the arms and armor to do so. But mostly they just left to scrounge whenever they can, sharpen stakes, kitchen knives, and we won the Battle of the Stormfield. However, whilst we were grateful, and emotions again, like some guy holds up his token to get on next, and said, people tend to forget. A few years later, as you said, the history books, all about the knights that charged the field, all about the magic users, all about how we
The
broke the
Storm
back of the.
Brigade, yeah. The Charge of the
So
Storm Brigade and the songs and the tales and courts are riddled with it.
whatever happens here, we're probably going to be forgotten within a few years, whether we catch Zara or not. We're probably going to end up being some faceless chumps who either failed or we're going to be embellished to a point where no one remembers who we are.
Yeah. I look at you and I do like a thing, right? And I look at you and I go like, yeah, you know, all the stories and things that I know, they're all named after all the songs that I know are named after the fugitives. Not so many after the captors.
And
They
no
seem to
one
be the ones who get
remembers
all
the
the
men.
glory. Yeah. Yeah,
No
I
one
think we say it at the
remembers
same
the.
time. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No one remembers who captures them.
Yeah, and I think that's just a scene like they're
Yeah,
both now,
totally.
like looking at the people boarding, like
Oh yeah, that's
maybe with different thoughts or like.
so good. Love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I have one. I'm going to the freight car. Cause I am I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but it's mysterious and I'm by myself. And I think I'm gonna do the chorus where I go by the I go by a couple like freight cars, and I get the like a chill down my spine going like through one of these like just luggage bin kind of places, and I imagine sort of a train like the one going to Hogwarts, like the private car doors, and I
Yeah.
imagine like one of those rooms like the wings. That's where I get the chills down. I go back like close to that, right? And I like think about whether or not I want to twist the door and open. And I'm like, I think better. I'm like, no, I shouldn't. And then like the camera stays back, and then I come back and I totally open it again, and I like I'm getting ready as I open. I say, the Court of Swords has come for you, and I think it's going to be Leo. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to roll. Be my response.
Sure, a D6.
So 1 to 3 is a trail has grown cold. A 4 to 5, a narrow escape. Or 6, a fresh crime. You rolled a 2. So it's a trail grown cold. So what do you think? So I open this door, right? I open this door of this car. And what is it? What is the detail that you would like to add to the story? It could be a significant detail or a minor. Just you just add to the story.
Yeah, I think Tully, as you said earlier out, he's more in tune with like the politics of the court than most people maybe realize.
Mhm.
And I think he's supposed to meet someone on the train, and this is their cabin, but there's no one there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. In fact, to build on that, I think the window is open, right? And like I look at it and I see the window is open, and I think I see a little oh yeah. Sorry, I got it now. Because in here there is a crutch and a little coin.
Perfect.
Yeah. Love
Small
it.
question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How long does the window appear to be open? Like, has snow
Just
from
barely
like,
cracked. No, it's just like
right?
whistling,
Okay.
right? Like that's the like normally they're sealed, right?
Mhm,
And this one just has that faintest little like like air's coming in just
mhm.
slightly, and that's how I know. And like yeah, the only thing left here was like obviously like the kind of a disguise of the contact I was supposed to meet.
Cool.
Nice, love it. That was so good. Seriously, thanks, Leo. That was super
No,
cool.
no problem.
Yeah. All right, I'm good. That's me.
Cool. Um, I don't have anything jumping out at me, but I think I would rather one of you guys give us a Zara scene with moving the fugitive than me this time. So I'm gonna
Sure.
hold off unless you guys have a good idea.
Um,
Actually, this is probably a good mid kind of like break point, real quick. I'm gonna
sure.
take a quick little 5-minute break.
Yeah,
So yeah, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna move the Magus, or move the fugitive, and continue this fun little Fall of Magic, the Song of the Fugitive. Once again, this is a part of Ross Cowman's zine quest. This is going on. Hit up Ross Cowman on Twitter at Ross Cowman, and there's the links and everything there for more information. This is from through Heart of the Unicorn, and so yeah, thanks again for all that stuff, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're playing Fallout Magic, the Song of the Fugitive, and we're getting ready to move the Magus. Any ideas? Who wants to do it? I know Sam just did it last time. I just had a scene, so I really feel like when I say this, I'm asking Leo, please move the Magus.
That was very successfully done. Well done.
Yeah. I'm getting Magus and Fugitive mixed up because it's the same thing, so forgive me when I say Magus. Except for when I don't mean the Fugitive, and I mean the Magus in the story. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I think I have something in mind.
Right. Yeah. So
Lazard's Station, an unexpected reunion.
No, it doesn't. Hold on, real quick. So when you move Zara, you move him to Astalia, and when you move him to Astalia, you do the prompt above, the hospitality of the Gilded One.
Okay.
I just realized how awesome and recontextualized that prompt is now when you're doing it as a fugitive.
That's changed. Yeah, what I was thinking. So
okay. Oh wow.
Give me a second.
Oh, that makes. Oh, okay. This is very cool.
Politics.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna grab our tokens and bring them up here too, just so we have them quickly available. But yeah,
actually,
this is your scene.
It doesn't change what I would.
You can incorporate other people into the scene as well. Like maybe like if there's other NPCs or something, and you want us to play them. Like if you want one of us to play the Gilded One, that could totally happen in these type of scenes.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask Sam to step in first, and it's not going to be the Gilded One themselves. It's going to be a representative of the Gilded One.
Okay, you want me to play that role? I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah. So I imagine Zara's still like hooded and like still wearing her robe. I imagine like the climate's somewhat milder in Astalia, but she's still wearing it. Like it's not massively out of place, but it's like, a cloak in this one. But I think she sat waiting in a dockside inn, waiting to meet a contact.
Yeah. So
sorry, I'm just gonna say, I imagine this is like a really seedy, like run down dockside. Like normally you wouldn't meet an emissary of the Gilded One here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this like very like prim and like pampered like gilded is the perfect way of like describing this human being. Walks through the door. I think they're a little bit like androgynous looking. They've got like a shaved head and like probably like powdered as well. So they've got this like sort of odd like glow to them almost. They're dressed all in like sort of shimmering fabrics. And like as they walk through the door, it's like they like don't really know what to do because they don't really want to like touch anything, but like also the floor is like on their shoes, and like these shoes were probably more expensive than this entire building. And so they kind of make their way over to Zara's table, kind of looking around, and look at the seat and opt to stand instead. And look and just say, so it's you.
It's me, and I wish to call on the Gilded One. They owe me a debt, and I need something.
It's a bad time. The Gilded One has many things to be dealing with at this time. It's not a good time.
Well, maybe you can help me then. I need passage across the sea. Sooner rather than later.
And you'll be gone. You'll be out of our hair.
The sooner you deal with it, the sooner I'll be gone. The longer you wait, the more chances that Stormguard's minions will be here, and you do not wish to be caught up in this.
Look, I can have you on a ship as soon as you want. Where do you want to go? I'll get you. If you're getting out of my city, you can go wherever you want, wherever you please. Last time you were here, look, I don't want any trouble.
Good. In that case, I want passage to Crow Hall. I want a cabin on a ship, the fastest one you can find.
Okay, Crow Hall, Crow. Okay, all right. Look, I'll book the passage. Go to the docks. Talk to Imran. He'll be able to put you on the ship. Here. They pull out like sort of a small bag and just like toss it across. It's like that's plenty of money. They'll do it, no questions asked. Look, you can't be here. You know you can't be here.
Good. In that, maybe you could do one more thing for me whilst we're here. Whilst you're being so accommodating.
It's like this the person's like voice like goes up another pitch. They like practically like squeak. They're just like one more thing.
Yes. I want you to have 2 of your best killers to meet me at the docks for this ship. If I get caught by Stormguard, I will have to tell them something to save my own hide. And I'm sure they would be very interested in knowing the job I did for the Gilded One.
Well, I mean, with your reputation, you would think that you're a good enough killer on your own, but fine. Look, we'll find someone for you. They'll meet you down there. Just, I need you to go. I need this to be done.
The sooner you find me those killers on the ship, the sooner I'm gone. Hurry now.
Yeah, just takes off.
Yeah, I imagine like at that point, like she like puts her hand on like the bundle she was carrying, like on like the bench next to her, just like make sure it's still there. And that would be the end of the scene.
Yeah, a very, very flustered courtier trying to deal with criminal. I like it.
I just noticed I never updated my stream title. I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, I have no. What was?
Or maybe I don't know.
One? It actually works. Improv for Gamers.
Yeah, but like that's a book, and the weird thing is, I don't know. Okay, this has not happened. I don't know. Don't worry about it. It might actually have been a weird Twitch thing. I'm about updating the stream titles because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, it did that like repeatedly a while back. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might be back. That thing might be back. That bugbear might be back. Okay. Sorry. Anyways.
You guys care if I go first on this one?
No. No, if you have a scene in mind.
Cool. I'm going to go to the wharf.
Hold on. Leo, you felt like you had to say something. What you...
Oh.
No, I was just saying no. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. So I'm going to go to the wharf, and I'm going to do a solo scene. And I think it's like kind of sort of like a montage of the past a little bit. And we like start with the first time Lorelai saw the sea, which is when she, as a young child, one of her earliest memories was sort of tossed onto the docks of Astalia as a son of a gun that was no longer wanted aboard a ship.
Ooh, okay.
And I think we like get like a couple of scenes of her sort of like scrapping and trying to survive in Astalia until she's, she kind of is in and out of like different like, little like thieves groups and like sort of the kind of faux gangs that sort of a younger crowd might get into before they would be inducted into like more serious crime in the city. And then one fateful day, Lorelai meets a slightly higher class of criminal, somebody who's sort of known throughout the underworld, a well-known thief by the name of Zara. And I think we get sort of this first meeting where a slightly younger, maybe just as brash, but a tad less able to back it up than the Lorelai that we've seen in the present day, and we see her basically running away from a group of guards and stuck and about to be caught when she hears a low like psst, and is warned by this figure sort of draped in shadow. And we see a hand reach out, and Lorelai takes it and is pulled up into a little hiding place. And the guards run past, and we get our first view of Zara. And I want you guys to help me describe what she looks like as well, because like we've kind of like wrapped this in mystery. I don't want to like do it all myself.
Yeah.
But in this moment, we see Zara's face and her profile. Like I'm kind of imagining sort of like an older, like weathered person. Like even then, like this is maybe like at 5 to 7 years ago. But even then, I think Zara was like kind of older and like edging onto retirement.
Okay. I mean, Sir Patrick Stewart out there.
That's a powerful look.
It's a very powerful look.
I'm into it.
I'm thinking like Patrick Stewart but with hair. But like a narrow like just almost not quite a mohawk, like a narrow strip. Like it's obviously been like tailored to be striking.
Yeah. Like that used to be all of the. I think I'm thinking of the. A lot of soccer players have that sort of haircut.
Yeah, right? I know.
Football players, you know what I'm talking about? Like especially like 10 years ago, there was that sort of like faux mohawk kind of thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I imagine like this look is like when people see this look, they know instantly who it is, regardless of whether they met before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like one of the striking things that we notice is Zara's like wearing like this like kind of particular style of like burglar's leathers, right? With like a certain way of like the weapons strapped on her and like the different gear. And what we notice is like Lorelai, when she was kind of chilling on the train in her like traveling, like I'm on an adventure clothes, is exactly like that kit layout that Zara has. And that's where we end the scene.
That's cool. I like that.
I like that a lot. What's in Azad State? Yeah, so people who are watching at home, in Estalia, there's Nazad Station, the Badwater District, the Starfall Academy, Gilded District, and the Marketplace of Magic. There are options here.
And sorry, I didn't let you. I didn't let you explain.
You're good. I just like to do that a little bit more because I know a lot of people like to watch streams with just like that are all tabbed and not see the video. So like just to help describe things, but we're thinking about. Feeling something. Graves, do you have any ideas?
Not immediately, no.
Cool, then I'm going.
Go ahead, yeah.
We're going to the Gilded District. And I think it's going to be Lorelai. No, right. All of us are there. I'm sorry. This is a full group. All right, full group here at the Gilded District. We're all meeting your contact, Laura.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Let me get a name.
Want to grab a name from the Song of the Fugitive?
Oh yeah, perfect. We have a list of names.
Mountain, Brunhilde, Hassan, M.
This is definitely Hassan.
Okay. Hassan.
Hassan. What did I make up any facts about him? Oh no, he does not like Lorelai. Hassan is he's a forger. He makes great forged documents.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love it. Go ahead.
And the problem is that Lorelai like stiffed him.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. I know where to go from here, right? No, the best part is because we're in Nostalgia. We're in the Gilded District, which is basically like the noble kind of quarters and stuff like that. So we're literally like getting up and like running, like ruining this guy's game, right? Like showing up here and talking to him. Like how dare you, these people from my past show up and find me in the middle of a hustle, right? I think he's like a real estate scummy person right now, like forging deeds to places that he doesn't own, kind of things, that kind of stuff, or like investments, that kind of
Oh,
like,
this is
or
great.
stakes on ships or something, like, I don't know, something like that, right?
Oh, insurance for ships, where
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
basically you gambled on your not coming back to pay for your family.
Yeah, he forges. Yeah, he's like forging like insurance things like that, right? Certificates and those types of stuff.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. Yeah. So I guess then if we're meeting in something like that, he's probably in like some kind of like fancy official guild house, right? He's like either like working there or like he's there on duty as sort of like an agent for somebody. But anyways, the point is that we catch him if he's like either off duty or doing this thing. I'm not exactly sure yet. But the point is that maybe like we catch him like outside, like on break, right? Or like just outside and kind of like near the back. Maybe he's having lunch. No, I think it'd be more fun to catch him while he's eating, because I feel like having a lot of scenes with eating is important.
Yeah.
What is the food like here, though? What is the food of Estalia?
I'm imagining, like, we talked about Stormguard being very like austere,
Yeah.
Spartan. I'm imagining like Estalia, all the like gilded words like make me think that's like supposed to be the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm imagining like this kind of like these kind of like very like ornate dishes, like almost if you had like French cuisine mixed with tapas.
Yeah, I was gonna say tapas. Definitely gonna say tapas. Definitely some sort of tapas. I think okay, cool. So I think right now, I think he's just eating some some kind of like shrimp and chicken kind of skewer kind of thing right now. And yeah, that's when we roll up on him.
Yeah, so like Lorelai does that thing that you see like in all of these movies where it's like guaranteed to be like a bad encounter, where Lorelai's like, "Don't worry, guys, I've got this.
Yep.
Let me do the talking."
All right. And while you do that, I think there's a quick aside to Bean Graves and be like, Graves, please tell me you still know how to use a sword, right? Just in case.
It's been a number of years, but
you know how to use a sword? Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Lorelai like rolls up with her casual grin and just goes, "Hassan, it's been so long. It's good to see you. Oh, wow, that looks good. But can I look? You know,
yeah, Hassan, yeah. I'll play Hassan real quick. Hassan would be like, by the black gods,
it's me in the flesh. Come here.
You're not. Yeah, and he's like, no, he's like not coming close to you. He's like stepping back. He's like actually holding the skewer like out at you. Like, don't you fucking dare get near me, you know? Like he's like holding the kebab skewer with some shrimp still on it. No, this is impossible. What are you doing here?
Look, I know. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. You know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important.
You better make it quick.
I'll make it quick. She's back in town.
I think he stops. Yeah, I think he like draws back the skewer duelist stance that he said, and goes back and like kind of holds it and like kind of like puts it to his side. And he's like, been hearing rumors that it's true.
Look,
if you flew here, and he puts over and says, and if they're here, like pointing to Tully and Graves, that we're trying to hide, but clearly are bad at it. at looking conspicuous.
I imagine Graves like really disapproving of having to deal with yet another criminal, but he's trying also to back Lorelai up, so he's standing like upright for a change. So he's like just made himself bigger.
You can't help but just feel like comfortable. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what angle Lorelai would take here. I'm also trying to think of how to abuse the fact that I have all of these important people with me. So maybe.
Sorry, if it helps, I imagine like Graves is probably wearing like a cloak clasp that is very visibly like a Storm Guard clasp.
Okay, so this is what Lorelai is gonna do. She's gonna be like, because Tully's still not wearing his motley, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So she's gonna be like, look, I'm one of the Storm Guard now. You see him? He's got the thing, and this guy is Tully here is he's good with the knives and the fighting with those. You know how I do my thing, and look, we're trying to bring someone to justice. She's back in town. I figure you might have an idea where she'd go.
And I have a message. The Court of Swords has come for you. I'm doing the chorus. So let's go with Leo. I want you to do it.
Oh, you want me to roll again? Okay.
Yeah, roll again.
I have curiosity, just for me.
Was
that Tully who said that to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure. I thought that's what you were going for.
But I was saying it as in like we have a message to deliver to Zara.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't Hassan delivering it to Lorelai.
Right. I know. I'm playing both characters, so thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing any accents or anything like that. So like that's totally a good question. All right, so we got a 5. What was it, Leo?
A narrow escape.
Cool.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay. So what is the detail here? What is the narrow escape?
I think we're the ones, like when you say like the Court of Swords has come for you, I think then like Hassan like is like, you walk into my house and like try to threaten me, and suddenly we realize like there are other people like sat at other tables that we're eating who are now all paying attention to us, and like they're friends of Hassan's, and we're the ones to have to make the narrow escape.
Yeah, like because we're like near the guild hall, right?
Yeah.
And so like,
I imagine there's actual guards here as well, and Hassan's a member of an important guild.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. So it's actually the moment there is yeah. So the moment there is like is the merchant that Hassan has swindled being like, there he is, kind of thing, and everyone's like, oh, and he's like, you better go.
Record scratch.
Yeah. Right, that is perfect. Yeah, that's such a nice way to see. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, cool. So we have to run. So we're running through Astalia. That's where we end.
Perfect.
Cool.
I'm into it.
Cool.
Oh, excuse me.
That was mine. I don't get to go again. So who else gets to go?
Yeah, I have an idea. Can you just tell me though what the leaf symbol means on Marketplace of Magic?
Yeah. That means you change something about your character. You could either change a trait, you could change your name, you could change what you are.
Okay, I think this is almost like directly after we've had to run, and I think Graves is willing to stoop to something he wouldn't normally do, and he leads the group to the Marketplace of Magic. Because we didn't get the information we needed, he's prepared to make a deal with someone who may use more mystical arts too.
I just quickly misspoke. I'm going to cut you off before you, because you might change how you position it. I'm sorry, you don't change it, you lose it. Right, continue.
Sorry, I lose what exactly?
You can lose your name, a trait, if you have a trait, or your your title, like knight, right?
Okay.
Last. You could lose last.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he leads them to this Marketplace of Magic, and Graves isn't, as we have seen, he isn't someone who knows about politics and knows who to talk to the right people and who's like the big players in the underworld.
Yeah.
But before he left, he was told like if you get really stuck in Estalia, go see this person. And I want Eric to play the person that we're visiting.
Sure, but where are we? So we're in the Marketplace of Magic, right?
Marketplace of Magic. I imagine like it is like a regular market, but like down side streets and narrow alleys. There's like a.
Oh, what does a regular market mean?
Like
open place, like we saw the plaza, like kind of like the scene where we had earlier, but
more like a street market where like this is where they set up like every week, and it's like street food. It's stuff that's come off the ship, so it's like crates of like food stuff and cloth. And
so what I'm saying is that this place would be very, very busy and like very loud.
But I'm imagining like as you go down this main street where all the normal people shop, like there's alleyways that you can go down, and like it's more like Borgin and Burke's from Harry Potter. Like there's like really like shady places just off the main market.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine we're going to see this shopkeeper, and we're asking them for help to find Zara.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's a short little mustached fellow. He has I think because this is a Marketplace of Magic, I think he sort of like sits on a kind of like a flying carpet, but it's more like a cushy like ottoman that kind of like sits off the ground a little bit.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And he puts his hands up like this, like he would like kind of like this is the sign for a hug, and he goes, "Friends, hello, hey, how is it going? Welcome."
Yeah, so I mentioned Graves has led them to this place, like going, your way didn't work, come with me. And so he walks in like slightly ahead of the group, and he's like, when he gets in, he like hesitates, like, oh, now I don't know what to do, and just sort of like turns to look at Lorelei, like, help me.
Man, I hate coming into there.
There's
a reason I didn't want to come back here. Lorelei does not look pleased that we're like in this like magical, more like it's the wrong kind of shady for her.
Yeah.
In Estalia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's plenty comfortable in shady places, but this is just not her type of shady, and so she looks a little bit off her on her like back foot, and she's like, You can help us then? We're looking for...
Wow. M always helps their friends. Hey, come on. And he kind of like gestures in. Over here, we got some nice, I don't know, something. Look at the map. We got some fresh wine directly from the Mistwood. We got some couple other things here from.
Yeah, I think he cuts him off. Yeah. Like, no, that's not what we're here for. We're after information. Like really demanding. Lorelei doesn't like dealing with these people.
I am required by law to tell you that I am not a magus, and therefore I am not allowed to own any spells. But for my friends, my well-paying friends.
Now this I understand. How much we're talking?
They look at you and say, I'm sorry, but you're sweet, but I don't think you could afford it being a convict.
Yeah, I think when he says Graves had like the money he was given for the journey, like the pouch out in his hand ready, like how much?
Estalia doesn't use gold for money. We use gold for our buildings. We trade in the necessities. Life. The essence. What it is to be.
Yeah, Lorelei just rolls her eyes so hard.
Yeah, I think Graves he does like like he's really uncomfortable, and he does like an unconscious motion with the stump of his arm, like he's reaching for a sword that is on the wrong hip. And he turns back to the man and says, "Name your price."
And he sees your hand. He's like, "I would trade it for a song, a story. Tell me about your hand."
Oh, okay. Like, so normally he's like face where he normally like say he normally just looks angry or bitter or just not very pleasant most of the time. And I think like his face goes through like several like emotions like very visibly, and then he sort of sighs like he has no other option. He feels cornered and says, like, is there somewhere like to sit in the store like he can sit across from this man?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, come, let's take a seat." And there's like, and he like does another like double clap thing, and like a couple other little like floating ottomans come out, sit down on.
It was during the last rebellion. We took to the field, and we thought we had it in the bag. We thought we were going to crush them then and there. My duty was to protect the prince.
Like nodding along.
He like hesitates, like, I allowed myself to be. I saw the commander, the enemy commander, and I thought I could end it there and there. I could break them. And I left my post. I left the prince alone. And I lost my arm to the rebel commander. I charged them alone, thinking I could finish it right then and there. But the loss of my arm is the smallest thing I lost that day. As I fell from my horse, I realized what a horrible mistake I had made. The prince was dead because I had left his side. I left him thinking I could be the hero.
He laughs and savors the story, which is like, rather than being sympathetic, like, oh, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
And just like out of curiosity, how is Tully and Lorelei looking? I imagine Graves isn't looking at them, but in the scene, how would they appear?
I think Tully already knew, but didn't want to say anything to you. Right? Like Tully being part of the court and stuff. Was waiting for you to like open up about it.
Yeah.
I think Lorelei just kind of like takes the whole thing in, like a little bit more like than than M. She seems to like really be sort of trying to like appreciate it in a different way, right? And I think she kind of like gives she looks at Graves a little differently afterwards.
Yeah, I imagine like everyone knew the story about like how the prince lost his life in the last rebellion, but like maybe not everyone knew the circumstances behind it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the first time we know that you were responsible for it. In that way. Yeah, I think everyone just heard that the prince fell in the rebellion, but not so much that you are personally.
Yeah, and I think probably like, I don't know if you have more. That's probably like where it would cut with like Tully like being very unsurprised and Lorelei like sort of like looking on.
Right, and I think so. I think M, who's sitting there like, he's like stroking his mustache, being like, and he's like savoring. He's like, that is a story you'd have taken to the grave. That's good.
Like, yeah, really savoring like discomfort.
Yeah, like it was a piece of filet mignon. Like he's just like, that's good. That was.
Laura, this is why I hate this city.
Yeah,
Just
like
like mostly to herself.
there's no
Yeah,
sympathy for you. It's entirely just the consuming of your experience.
yeah, and this is probably like the most uncomfortable. I mean, like I say, even though Tully's like been around the court, this is probably like the most uncomfortable like Graves has ever appeared to be. Like he's made himself voluntarily vulnerable.
Oh yeah. Um, so
And and
you come here so you have come here for information.
that's right. We need to know where a particular person is. And I think like at that point, he just like gesture like Lorelei forward.
Well, there are a lot of people. Which particular person did you have in mind?
She's rather one of a kind. Zara.
Cannot be done. It's like he like immediately it's like, thank you. Nope, done. Thank you.
Look, I get it, but I'm telling you, she's back in the city.
Impossible.
I promise. Came out of retirement.
She's stuck in Crow Hall. It can't be done. Nope. You're
Look,
asking too much of him.
in Crow Hall.
Yeah.
She,
For the last 20 years. There's no way. What you say is that can't be right.
look, I'm telling you. You know who I am? Who would know better than me?
You're some criminal
Of course.
of marginal renown.
Yeah, very marginal. But look, I've been after her for quite some time. They wouldn't have pulled me out of jail if it was for nothing. Trust me,
Who?
she's back in the city.
Who pulled you out of jail?
He did.
Yeah, it looks at
Big
Graves.
luck over there. He didn't want to much either. But
Yeah.
look,
The
I can
negligent
help.
knight. Yes.
All I need is pointed in the right direction, and I will take care of the rest.
And he's like, hold on a second. And like you feel like he gets like a chill. Like he's like goes like, what you say is true. Oh, you ask a lot of them. Yeah. I think he's going to offer up and like perform like a spell.
Mhm.
Like, okay. Can't let anyone know that I do this.
Of course.
Gilded One would have my head. Or worse.
We are friends after all.
And, and like he like, okay, follow me. And like the Ottomans like lead you down like a secret cellar to like kind of like a ritual place where he has set up to do this kind of ritual thing, like a scrying pool kind of thing. And he's like, the Gilded Ones control most of the magic in the city, but through my delicate deal making, I've been able to strike out as an independent contractor, so to speak. All right. So Zara, do you have something of her? Would make the spell much better.
I think she like looks to Tully.
Yeah, I think we're both looking at Tully like you're the person that's really mysterious and has all these connections.
Like Lorelai's like, they took all my stuff when they threw me in the stocks.
Tully looks at you all and looks at him and goes like, no, I was kind of hoping that's like, I know that you charged strange prices, but I thought that story was going to be enough. And that's when M's like, no, the story is just to talk to you. That's what friends do. The real price. Well, then I need something important. If you don't have anything of Zara, Must have something important from you. And he looks at Graves and it's like, your sword would do. You're no longer a knight anyways. He like reads your heart. Like that's what you think.
Yeah, I think like Graves is like back to being like really hunched over and like hiding his height.
Mm-hmm.
And like as he says, like seems like get smaller.
Yeah.
And then like he pulls out the sword and like places it like on a table or something.
Yeah. He places it. Yeah, you place it on the table and it like sits there. And you're not sure what's happened after he's like kind of started the ritual a little bit, but like the sword is much bigger than the bowl. But when he picks up when M picks up the sword and like goes over to the bowl, which is like taller than him, like the sword gets he just like grabs the sword, and as he picks it up, it like gets smaller in his hands, like to the size of like a soup spoon, and like dumps the sword into the scrying pool, does the spell. And there's this sort of like describe for me, I think, the feeling of you losing your losing your knight. It's like, is that a burden released off of you? Is that like, what does it feel like?
I think, you know how when someone like loses like a limb and like they learn to compensate and they don't notice it anymore, but I think this is more like this like cuts him like keener than losing his sword arm did. And yeah, as like I said, you know how he seemed to get smaller, like he does like physically seem to diminish to other members of the group. And yeah, I think it was not the fact that he's no longer a knight, it's the fact that he was the last of the knights. He's the last representative of everyone who died before him. And now that's gone.
Yeah. No longer the last.
Or maybe he's now just Graves the last.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Love it. And I think what it reveals is that a ship sailing, and then good news and bad news. She's on the Sea Viper. This is one of the fastest ships out there, but there's still one in the harbor. Might be able to catch it. The bad news, run by Grandmother Black. That's what I can't help you with. That's
getting better and better.
And that's I think that's probably the scene.
Yeah, I like it.
As the scene ended, would the name like Grandmother Black mean anything to Lorelai?
Yeah, I think so. I can't decide if I want to move the Fugitive or do a scene in the wharf getting on the ship, or if I want to cut to us on the ship dealing with Grandmother Black. Like either way, I want to do a scene at some point with Grandmother Black, but I'm not sure if I want to frame it on the wharf, like parlaying our way onto the ship, or if I want to do more like cut to us being there.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys have a preference on that?
Not really. I'd be happy with either one, to be honest.
All right, let's move Zara to well, okay, so yeah, I mean we're moving Zara to the Sea Viper while we're gonna be on a different ship theoretically.
Yeah, I realized that I dug myself into a hole a little bit how to do this. I've been thinking about that silently, how this works, and whatever.
I feel like that's like natural though, because like it makes less sense that we're like on the same ship. Like in our version of this story, it doesn't make sense that we're on the same ship as the Fugitive.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Well, it's we could still have a scene of Zara trying to get on the ship of the Grandmother Black, or the Sea Wing, like that. There's I think this just can still be done. It's a little bit convoluted, but that's fine. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I mean, do you wanna go with that, Eric, and you play Zara?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'll do that. Right. Okay.
Cool.
I think there's not even like a like high grandmother or anything like that. I think it's more of just a like going to the docks and people are loading stuff onto the ship and stuff like that, right? Or offloading. There's kind of like a crane and doing that kind of stuff. And Zara says, "Permission to come aboard. I can pay."
Yeah, so I think Grandmother Black, if you don't mind, Leo, if I
No, go ahead. If you've
yeah.
got something in mind, go ahead.
I think she's just like this like wizened, like salt weathered, gnarled old woman. She's got like a probably like a blunderbuss or something that she like leans on a little bit. Like it's like almost like she's using it like a cane. She's got a pirate's hat for sure, like the tricorn hat, and I think that she's probably got a couple visible knives and just like overall like intimidating kind of piratey look to her.
I sort of imagine like a piratey version of the character from Overwatch, Pharaoh's mom, Anna.
Yeah, Anna. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. So, and she just kind of gives this sort of disgusted look to Zara, and is just like, no, nope, not for all of the money that you could possibly bring. I know you and your trouble.
Well, what about this? And she showed, and we don't see it because it's from like Zara's like our Grandmother Black's actually blocking it, but like reveals like we can see a sort of emanating glow that's like rippling. It looks like like underwater. Like imagine water the color of gold that's rippling, so like rippling sunlight. Like that kind of impression, right? Like
I'm imagining the look on Grandmother Black's face in that moment is kind of like evokes the feeling of like one of like the quote unquote wiser people of Middle Earth when they like gaze upon the ring, where they're kind of just like horrified and awestruck and tempted all at the same time.
Yeah.
And she ends up like reaching forward and pulling back like the whatever was covering the wrap, whatever it was, like pulls it back over, and it's just like, you didn't. Yeah. I thought you were trouble, and you didn't.
I did what had to be done.
Gone. Get gone with you. I won't have you on my ship.
The Gilded One was afraid you would say that.
I'm sure he was. I can't believe he even sent you to me. This is not happening.
Well, and Zara looks around and saying, well, you know what happens to people who defy the Guildmaster. Good luck ever coming back here.
They're going to come for you, They're not going to stop.
Is that worth making an enemy of the Gilded One?
Look, a bad enemy is a bad enemy. But the people you crossed, I can never come back to Estalia. That's fine. Plenty of people don't come to Estalia their whole lives. You'll never rest. I think that
that's fucking it. No, of course. Yeah, that's super good. Damn, Sam, I love it. That's so good.
Thank you.
Cool. So
sometimes you hear the name of like a character or something, and you immediately get like, you're like, oh, I know exactly who this person is.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing how that stuff just like forms a constellation. Cool.
I really like the idea, like you were saying about like the wise people of Middle Earth, like being smart enough to know they don't want any part of it.
Yeah, I ain't touching that.
yeah, it's like I was specifically thinking of that moment with Galadriel where she's just like, oh, I like, she's like, please take it. She's like, oh, fuck no.
Or even Gandalf, when he's offered the ring like right at the start, like
yeah, exactly.
Take it.
Yeah. Perfect. I don't have a great idea for setting a scene on the ship.
That's fine.
Um,
I mean, you just did it. I mean, you kind of
Mhm.
narrated one
yeah.
already. Probably should we fall on Graves or Tully, right?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't. We've
Graves.
kind of you played a bunch of NPCs, so we haven't gotten a lot of Tully lately. Do
Yeah,
we
it's
want to
true.
do something with him?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be a scene with Tully unless people were eating. So we're going to the galley. Um, you guys are okay. So we're eating gruel. We're eating some like cornmeal mixture with a little bit of like some kind of like protein powder, a little bit of spice, and you get this just it's just a steaming bowl of it, like a this kind of porridge like thing, right? Um, and next, like we all have these bowls. We're all on like the galley kind of long table. It's cramped, and we're all sitting next to each other. The ship kind of rocks because it's like under the ship and stuff. And like we hear like the thunk 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 as our plates go down, and then we hear this nice little like click 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 as I put down these little pills next to each of you, and being like, "You're gonna want to eat that or
What
take the pill.
what is this?
It's gonna make that taste a lot better."
Just like pops it. It's like,
Yeah.
is
Kind
it?
of looks on the
It
inside
doesn't. It
check.
doesn't have a taste.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it does. It's I don't know. It's just it's a little tincture that makes things that taste like pretty like lame taste actually pretty good. I kind of think of like the stuff that you do that makes sour taste sweet. You know, it's
Yeah,
something like that,
the
right? It's
miracle
just
berry stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
miracle berry kind of thing. Like it's supposed to make boring porridge taste like cereal. You know?
yeah. So like Lorelai takes it and is like, now Tully, if I start seeing wacky colors and shapes in the waves in a couple hours, these pills aren't gonna make me see things, are they?
No, I
Okay.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I made sure. I made this batch myself, and I already tested it. Don't worry, you're good. I won't do. I wouldn't do anything that would piss off our great grandmother.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to make her angry.
She's still a little sore about having no return voyage and what we had to do to get on the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's maybe not bring that up to
Yeah,
her. uh, s-
we're still gonna need some kind of way to get home, right, Graves?
If we're lucky. And I think he's still like holding the pill, waiting to see if it has an effect on Lorelai. And when it like
yeah,
clearly
Lorelai's just
I
eating
take
up
mine.
the
Yeah,
gold.
yeah, when it clearly has like some kind of immediate drastic effect, it's like okay.
it tastes amazing. Yeah, the gruel tastes like nice chicken soup or like I don't know whatever you imagine it could be. Maybe it's like birthday cake or maybe it probably tastes like birthday cake.
I think like it tastes slightly different to each person, like whatever
Yeah.
like flavors they prefer.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
yes. So like through like a mouthful of gruel, Lorelai's just like, so is this why they keep you around at Stormguard there, Tully? He said you
One
make.
of them. Yeah.
Hmm.
I say cryptically.
Hmm.
Should should pay attention to food. Food's a great uniter. Everyone's got to eat, even kings. No, or I say no. I say even the magus self eats.
Mhm.
You know, and like that's a thing.
Someone once told me the magus shit's gold. I didn't believe it.
It's not true. And I just go back and I like don't even like lift my eyes up and just that's all I tell you. But you know that like there's a sense of seriousness. Like I know I would know. Yeah, I convey that sort of.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those. I think like for a moment, Lorelai thinks that he's like playing along with her joke, and then like when she realizes that he's being like a little bit serious, she's like, "You've met him then."
Yeah, once or twice. Had to had to entertain the magus, if that's even possible, by mortal.
And
It went about as badly as you think it did. That's like a joke.
well, show us then. No, I want to see if it's good enough for the maggots. It's good enough for me.
Sure. It's gonna need permission from the grandmother. So, I just. Do you want to ask the grandmother for permission, or do you let it sit there?
I think yeah, I think Lorelai gets to her feet and is like, all right, Tully, I'll call your bluff. I want to see what it is that keeps you up in the good graces of Alana Storm Queen and keeps me in the basement. Lorelai heads off to get permission from Grandmother Black.
Yeah.
Do we want to end there? Do we want to?
No, I think so. Yeah. I think that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to end.
Cool. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Unless Graves has something, I guess we could play that scene out.
I don't think he necessarily does. I think since going to the marketplace in Estonia, I think he's more reserved. Whereas before he was taking more of an active role, saying we're going here, we're doing this, we're going to catch up with Zark. I think he's more retreated into himself a little bit, and he's just allowing Lorelai and Tully to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. So I'll set a scene in the cabin, and Lorelai will walk in to the captain's quarters, where Grandmother Black is, without knocking.
Mm-hmm.
And either of you can feel free to play the character. But Lorelai will basically say,
I've been playing a lot of NPCs. Leo, you want to take care?
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Well then, Grandma, I told the jester that he could entertain the crew. I hope you don't mind. Then she turns around and is about to walk out the door unless Grandmother Black says something.
I think this is a very short scene. I think she just looks up slightly alarmed and shouts after you, "No pyrotechnics!"
Yeah. And then she's Lorelai heads out the door, doesn't bother closing it behind her, but just shouts out over her shoulder, "Thanks, Grandma. Take care." Heads out. That's the scene. I think that's how we. I like it. Short and sweet.
That's really good.
Cool. Graves.
Yeah, I don't think Graves would be very especially active. He's probably spending a lot of time very quiet,
mm-hmm.
and turned in on himself. So I think he's using this journey more as a chance to pull himself together. So
where's that scene?
That's the question. I think it's the helm, actually. Yeah, so we basically, when he's not eating with the rest of the group in the galley or sleeping, I think he spends all his time at the helm, just staring into the distance, watching the waves and the horizon, as though he's trying to will them to be quicker. Because he I don't know. I'm not going to explain his thought process because we wouldn't know that. Yes, I think unless anyone has any more scenes on the Sea Wing, I think that would be a good final scene. Everybody else is talking to each other and talking to the Grandmother Black, and with final scene, Graves just staring out into the distance.
Maybe if I can add to it, maybe he's off by himself, staring off into the distance while the crew is watching whatever Tully's performance is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the background, there's like the sounds of like people laughing and like clapping to it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you're just focusing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that a
Yeah.
lot. That's awesome. Cool. All right.
Cool.
And
That's
oh
the
we
anyone then, right?
yeah, but we do the islands.
Oh, how does this work?
We draw
Right.
cards.
Yes. So I get to draw an island. This is the first one.
And if I remember rightly, we can do as many of these cards as we want, right?
No, there's three. Three islands.
Okay.
Cool.
So this one's the crystal island.
Okay. It sounded like Greaves wanted to move the fugitive, but I may be incorrect there.
Yeah, I have an idea. Let's move Zara. Oh, she just fits behind the cards. So yeah, the Crystal Island, the Crystal Island, the moving light. So I think we see like Zara's ship, the Sea Viper, if I remember rightly. Is that right?
Yeah, Sea Viper.
Like anchored off the coast of this island, and then we see Zara like stood on the coast. I was like her two killers and one sailor. There's like rowed like the rowboat to get them to the island because they wanted to like reach out.
Yeah.
And we see Zara still with like the hood up, and she tells her her killers to wait there. And we see her move further into the island. It's like a forest of crystals, like really jagged, like pine tree shaped crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and they're
color?
all like. I think the a few different colors, but I think they're on the. It's like all blues and purples and violets, like all those shades.
Okay. Cool colors. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we see her moving like. I say like the scene set at dusk, so it's like pretty dark on the island. So she's moving deep into this forest of crystals, and as she moves, it like gets darker as the last of the light is blocked out until she comes across this extra large purple blue crystal tree, and she just holds up the bundle towards this tree, and the crystal tree starts to glow. And then through the wrap bundle, we see like light inside the bundle. And that's all the last we see. Yeah, we don't like that's all we see, like no explanation, just her holding up this bundle to the tree.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. It resonates. Whatever's glowing in that thing is resonating with the
like
crystals.
Something reacts.
Yeah. That's super good.
I'm imagining like in the soundtrack of our game here, like this is the scene that would totally be played on like a set of bells, where it's like that kind of like symphonic like bell sound, like as like the different crystals light up. I'm super.
Yeah, I imagine if it had a soundtrack like that, like we wouldn't notice it at first, but like the sound of the wind is slowly merging into the bell sound as she gets deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
Quickly looking to see if there's any sort of bell sounds. This might be. Let's see. Nope. Well, I searched bell. I searched bell and didn't get anything. I tried.
Right. Yeah. Cool. I love it. I'm into it.
Yeah,
I have an idea for a scene, but I feel like I've been going first a bunch. So if somebody else has one, I want to let them have a chance.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I don't feel we've seen much of Tully recently.
Yeah, I was going to volunteer to go first.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm going here. I'm going to the Cave of Dark Colors, which is my darkest self, and I think what I'm doing is I go alone. I think I do go alone. I think while I'm in the cave, something interesting happens where I go in the cave, and the cave also glows, but it doesn't glow the same sort of like gold, blues and stuff. It glows kind of red when I enter this dark cave, and I say, I know, it's gonna keep happening the closer I get to Umbra, but I need to do this, and I need to do this so that my friends don't see me as I go deeper under the singing mountain. Uh, yeah.
That's it.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Um.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Does Tully like? Do we ever see him come out, or do we only ever see him go in?
No, we only see him go in.
Okay.
So there'll probably gonna be another scene or something.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Um. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Do you have a good idea, Graves? I'm drawing a blank on this one.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, I think this is actually whilst Tully's off spelunking,
Mm-hmm.
Graves and Lorelei, if you don't mind being in this scene, which
Yeah.
is Shardvale. And the prompt is letting go. And I think like part of it is like the Sea Wing is like put ashore and like they're doing the sailory thing and looking for fresh water so they can continue the journey. We've taken the opportunity to stretch our legs. And I think we're walking through the Shardvale, which is like the crystal trees that I've mentioned, but it looks like if crystal trees have been hit by lightning. So it's all like really splintered, jagged crystals. Like there's lots of loose debris everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Graves just turns to Lorelei for like the most he's said to her since Estalia. And he just turns to her and says, "What do you think's going to happen when we catch up with her?"
Well, that is a good question. Honestly, I don't think it is a win. I think it's an if. She might get the drop on us. She might, who knows? She might disappear once we get to Umbra. I don't know, but I do know that once we catch her, she won't give up easy. I tried to get her out of retirement, a couple times. Big scores, good scores, things you wouldn't believe. I've got leads. I've had some opportunities. I mean, you know what got me thrown into the jails down there in Stormguard. I mean, but whatever this was, it's something different. I don't know what it is, but whatever got her out of retirement, she's not going to give it up easy. You know that, right, Graves?
Yeah. I wonder though, do you really believe it's an if? You really believe we won't catch up with her?
She's good. She's that good.
I think I may have lied to you as well. I think we're going to catch up with her, but I don't think any of us are going to survive this. I think I gave you the wrong impression when I said you would probably get to go free after this. I think you need to let go of any thoughts you had of coming out the other side of this.
Don't worry, Graves. Important men like you lie to me all the time. Just claps him on the shoulder.
Clink on the armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's where it ends.
Yeah, I think that's a nice end. They're like kind of looking out over the edge of this
destroyed forest.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so I want to take us to the Singing Mountain.
Okay.
Tully, is Tully back yet for a scene?
This could be beforehand, right? We don't have to go in chronological order per se.
Yeah, it's not linear.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe it's Tully and Lorelai, because I think I want to I think what it is they're up on the top of this crystalline mountain, and Lorelai. I think like we again get that like weird like sort of this tubular bell sounds. These like strange ringing. It says a hum in the descriptor, but I'm imagining it more as like kind of like this ringing, like synchronous sound, as like the
tuning forks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we're in the midst of this like this cacophony of tuning forks that kind of blends together in this eerie melody and harmony interaction. And Lorelai's just sort of standing at the edge with her back to the pass, like looking out, just sort of like taking in the music and the view. And I don't think she notices Tully if Tully's behind her. And I think that there's like this moment where like Tully knows that like he could just push her off. I'm like curious if he does.
Oh, hold on. Let's see if this is actually be okay. This works. I want the sound of those resonant bell tuning things. No, it's just
birds.
It's killing me. Okay. All right. But no. There definitely so there definitely is this thing where like I probably thought about it and I'm getting ready to, and as I think about it, I think we hear the hum of the mountain change a little bit. And it kind of, we feel us as not just through Tully but through the eyes of Lorelai, the crystals go a little red, right, as I think about this, and I see them doing this, and so I have to stop because I don't want to give it away. So instead I look to Lorelai and say, listen, there's something I gotta do. I'll be back in a little bit, but I think I might know, I think I might have just discovered something about what it is that Zara is looking for.
Really? Oh.
I'll explain later.
Yeah, exactly.
But figure out what it is.
Awesome.
Right, and but I think there's a I think that's the scene, but I have another scene that kind of like follows that with you.
Yeah.
Right, so like that's the end of your scene, but I think this is a really short scene between you and I as well. It's a parting question here, and I say, I look to Lorelai and I ask you, like, how much do you trust me?
I don't trust anyone, Tully. But until we find Zara, we're in this together.
What if that doesn't have to be true? What if you and Graves walk away from this?
What are you saying?
I think coming here to the hum of the singing mountain of these crystals, the closer we get to Umbra, it's dawned on me It's not a what that Zara stole, but a who.
Oh, I well that complicates things. I look.
I don't know how, but I think Zara stole the Magus and is taking them to Umbra. I don't know why.
Tully, I'm not going to pretend I'm here for anything other than me. You pulled me out of jail. You gave me no choice. I'm not here because I want to be. I'm here because I'm the consummate opportunist, and both you and Graves know that. If you have an option that gets me out, I'll take it. But you don't owe any of them anything. You don't owe the world this. You don't need to make that sacrifice. We can get this done together.
Do they let you? Do they buy that? I wish you could. What do I say? I have an idea of what I want to say, but I'm not exactly sure how to make it powerful the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just tell you, and imagine it's cool. I'm gonna do the
Yeah.
John Harper thing.
Yeah.
And be like, I once served a Magus of Crow Hall, and we're not, and I cannot let another Magus be hurt. This would kill him. This would kill the Magus, and I can't let that happen.
Do what you gotta do, Tully. I'll make sure when the time comes, you're in a position where you can make the decision that you gotta make. I'll make sure that Graves lets you. That's all I can add. That's all I can do.
Okay.
Is that where the scene ends?
No, because I think there's probably a moment where like I have to go by Graves.
Okay.
And what's Graves' posture and stuff right now on this island that's like alien and glowing and humming, resonating?
I think after talking to Lorelei, like admitting, like, "Hey, we brought you along and screwed you with us," he's like lifted a little bit off him, so he's like not standing tall again, but he's not quite as closed off as he was on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's looking around the island, and I imagine at this point he's also like paid one of the crew from some of their funds to buy like a boarding act for him to replace the weapon he lost. So he's like walking around with his like hand on the head of this axe at his belt.
Say, hey, Graves, listen. This isn't a joke. But I gotta do something. But if something happens, my motley, you should have it.
Okay.
You ask any questions like further into it?
I think he says like okay, and he's like looking at Tully like, yeah, and I think he's like then says to Tully, "Did you know when we set off how this was going to end?"
No. I didn't know what they had.
Do I want to ask?
It was the Raven. They spoke to the Raven. What's her Queen? Queen Elena? What's her name?
Yeah, Helena, Elena, something like that.
I'd say Elena. All right, yeah. Queen Elena spoke with the Raven Not the Magus. That's where I knew something was off. But I didn't know. I thought it was a spell. I didn't know there was magic itself. Listen, if I'm not back in a couple hours, you and Lorelai, you need to find Zara. You need to make sure that the Magus doesn't get any closer to Umbra than they already have.
Do you need anything else from me?
No. She hugs you, or he hugs you.
Yeah, I think you like. So we're having a little bit of a moment there,
Yeah,
and then like
yeah,
he
yeah.
like stiffens up again, like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
expected. But then like one arm hug because that's all he can do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and I think they like when they break apart, he's like suddenly really embarrassed and like just walks away.
Mm-hmm. And then,
Yeah, I think that's...
yeah. Well, then I mean, the natural thing would be to like the resolution of that would be the chorus. Like, who does that?
I can do it.
Sure.
Let me pull it up here. Our course, the Court of Swords has come for you.
So, oh, this is awesome. So I'm missing then, right? Like, is it you two have come down into the caves or something?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we wait, and then there's like, oh, Tully's not coming back unless we do something.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw it to you, Eric.
Yeah.
Because I think it's appropriate for you to roll.
3.
What
Oh, this is
the result again? The trail has gone cold. Okay, yeah. So what do we find that's like the last like thing that we find of Tully's that's like we're like Lorelai who's like doing like tracking. We like see like this scene of like I imagine Graves is like, you know, with his experience as a knight has probably got some tracking experience too, right? Like, so they're like the two of them are like kind of like putting their heads down, like looking for trail signs. Like, what's like the last thing we find where we're both like, oh no.
Dark red crystals, a blanket of crow feathers, and Lorelai's body.
Wait, you mean
Tully's body? Sorry, I messed up.
Jesus. Okay.
There was a confrontation.
One
and I lost.
Question. Oh, well, that may answer my question there. I was going to say, A, are you wearing the motley? And B, what state is it in? Is it bloody? No. Is it torn?
Yeah, no. I just look like I'm at rest. I'm not like stabbed or anything.
Like you haven't been brutalized, basically.
No, but like all around here is just a mixture of gold crystal and like dark red crystals, and the entire basement, like soggy part of this underneath this mountain, is just covered in a small little like sea of crow feathers. And I'm just like laying in the middle of like a expanse, dead.
Yeah. So Lorelai like walks over to the body and like kind of like gets down on her knees a little bit so that she is like closer to the body and just looks down at them and it's like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. This could have just kept coming with us. Why would you do this? It didn't have to be like this.
Yeah, I think like Graves like puts a hand on Lorelai's shoulder and just says very quietly, "No, I think it really does." And I think then he like reaches for sorry, Tully, and like tries to like pick up the body like one-handed, and he just looks directly at Lorelai and says, "He was of Stormguard, and now his storm has passed."
Aw.
Yeah, like I think there's like kind of like a long moment where Lorelai kind of sits there, like sort of staring off, and when she stands, we see, I think, something that has been missing from her this entire time, which is like resolve. A little bit of that resolve that Tully had on the mountain is passed along to her, and she finally gets it. Finally gets what it is that keeps people from doing stuff that isn't always just about the next paycheck, about the next thing that's going to keep them going.
A little bit of the flippancy gone as well.
Yeah. And so a newly stoic Lorelai exits the cave with Graves.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Graves like managed to like hoist the body over his shoulder, like carrying like firemen's lift the body. And I think he actually intends to do the sailor thing and put the body in a cask so it can be returned to Stormguard for burial.
Cool.
And that's where we ended then.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably that's probably where we ended for the night.
Yeah. That was great.
So
maybe there's like a last shot of our game of like Zara's ship like arriving at the shore of Umbra, and like that's like the after credits sequence or whatever. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and then it's like it goes back to like the axe and fiddle, and it's like, and we'll pick up the story tomorrow, kids. You know, or whatever. And like, yeah, that's cool. That's a fun little thing. I like it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I always like to decompress for the last couple minutes or so. What we think, what we liked, you know, that kind of stuff.
So I sort of said this at the beginning. I've been playing like a ton of more mechanically driven games, and like this was just such a breath of fresh air. For that is like I love that kind of gameplay too, but sometimes you just need to like have like a little bit like more of like a slower, like introspective, really like let's take these characters and we don't know anything about them at the start, and by the end we're gonna feel like we really know them. And I think that was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's always amazing when you do it in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I want to personally thank both of you. This was very good, and you all are exceptional storytellers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So are you. Yeah, man. Everyone brought it tonight. This was great. This was great.
It was I always describe it as story gaming is kind of like making pizza, where like, you know, even if it's like okay, it's still pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's very, very much like this was real good pizza for me. I liked it a lot.
This was a good one. This was a very good one. I'm gonna have to pick this game up myself. Like I said, I've seen it played a couple times. I'm familiar with the game, and I have just never had a chance myself. And like actually getting to go through it, like the way the prompts evoke a feel between the pictures and the map, it's really well done. It's really well put together.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think the only thing that with it not being Fall of Magic, with it being a version of Fall of Magic, is what we discovered is depending on the story you're telling, you can sort of sometimes some of the prompts don't quite fit with what the story you were creating. But I think if people understand that you don't necessarily have to follow every prompt, just what it's evoking.
You could always do the chorus.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
I also felt that like a lot of times the weird prompts, it's like kind of that thing in gaming where like having boundaries helps you like make something a little bit more interesting. Like having to work around like that prompt that doesn't quite fit for the Fugitive story almost like made our Fugitive story a little more interesting in some ways. But I could also see like there was also like for example, there was that time with that first Sea-Wing thing where I was like, I have no idea how to do this one. Yeah. And then Eric came in with the save. So
yeah, it was a little interesting.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, I really like the fact that you can hand over to other players, even if it's like your scene. You can hand over to other players, and they can like surprise you with the
Yeah,
direction it goes.
very much, Leo. Like I've played this game a lot of times. Probably not as much as Ross or some people. I played this game a lot, and I've seen this game go a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just each of us individually telling a story, and like we just kind of narrate the thing, and we just go, and it happens as fast. And it's also really really awesome because we're all super interested in these individual stories that are end up happening. Almost kind of like imagine the sort of narrative where it's like multiple point of view, like main characters, like stories, and and the protagonist stories kind of
Mm-hmm.
interweave a little bit together, but it's not really like the group and their interaction. It's kind of just like everyone's individual headspace and how they kind of intersect. And then sometimes you have the games like this where like we're just in each other's business the whole time and just having fun. It's really cool. I like this a lot. I normally am in the former category, to tell you the truth, but this was really refreshing. I like this a lot too. And also, I haven't been playing the too many story games, so what you said has been super resonant to me. Damn, this is lovely. So yeah, um, this has been Fallout Magic. This is the song of Fugitive. This is one of 4 different songs coming out for Zine Quest. I don't know if this is available yet on Heart of the Deernicorn, which would be Ross's company's website. But if you follow Ross Common at Ross Common, you will get more information. I'm sure things are making moves. Like there's already a forms of this getting made. I just wish I had more of the details. I literally got the rules of this game today, the updated one to run. So like I was just super happy and thankful to do this for him and play with you two. This was just incredible and share it with everybody.
What seems like it could be really cool
Mhm.
with these little the songs is it definitely seems like what could happen with Fall of Magic is kind of like the late level D&D problem where it's like you never get to the right half of the map. You like end up playing like the first like few locations every time unless you're like playing with a progressive group. So it's kind of, I think, a cool idea to have like some littler stories that's like, all right, you're going to start a little farther along on the path and maybe see some places that you wouldn't interact with as commonly.
The other thing I like about it as well is like you could play Fall of Magic and then weave these other smaller stories into the whole like mythos of the story you created.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Exactly. It's almost like a Tolkien verse, like you
Mhm.
can the different stories and things intersecting and things kind of nodding. What is it? What's the word? Alluding to.
Yeah.
I like the use of songs from the songs of the Axe and Fiddle too, because it's all like leitmotifs. Like it's the
Mhm.
same places, just recontextualized. It's different characters and their stories, but like yeah, the idea that so many pieces are the same that they repeat and come back again and again in the different stories and the different places. That's very cool. I
It's
like it a
well
lot.
done. It's really well done.
Yeah. I definitely would say in my headspace, I was treating this a little bit like The Hobbit to the Fall of Magic.
Yeah.
Like the idea is that you stop them from bringing the thing only to learn that this was actually the thing that needs to get done. Kind of thing.
Well, I was. It's funny you say that because like it just goes to show how people can approach it differently. And I was approaching it more like thanks to you putting the idea in my head, like saying Suicide Squad, but I was thinking more like a Dirty Dozen. Like this is a motley collection of people who may have skills of their own, but they really don't belong together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think the for me like the everything kind of came together um sort of when we got to Estalia, when I was like decided that I wanted like that to be where Lorelai grew up. That was like kind of where like all of like the little pieces of this kind of like wisecracking kind of basic rogue character that I was kind of tossed out into the ring kind of came together. And yeah, it was good. I had an absolute blast. I could totally. I'm now super interested in revisiting this game.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you got me. You got me.
Wonderful. All right. Let's do some quick little shout outs and get out of here. Leo.
Hello, I'm Leo. You when when I should stream more. I need to start streaming again. But yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/Leo the Gamer Guy, or if you want to follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Leon Yarwood. Yeah, and just to reiterate, I am on a few other streams playing role-playing games. So if you want to see us playing all one class D&D 5th edition,
The monk thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What I didn't tell you about earlier that we're all particularly proud of is we played an all-rogue heist one-shot called Potions 11. So that was fun. Yeah, so if you want to see me do that, go to twitch.tv/Alison Howell. It's her channel. And yeah, me.
Cool. I am Sam, twitch.tv/WisdomFool, Twitter at TheWisdomFool. I forgot to shout it out at the beginning of the show, but I am playing a game called Emberwind on Unmade Gaming's channel on Tuesday evenings. That is a blast. I play a goofy character with a ridiculous and pretty out there religious philosophy. Eric knows that that's a little bit my jam. So I'm doing the normal thing there. I also want to say, big fan of this Heart of the Unicorn product. I also got one of their Dungeon World shirts, and I haven't gotten it yet. So I'm gonna have to email Ross. Ross, expect an email from me because I want that hoodie because it's awesome and it looks absolutely beautiful. So much like this game board, I'm excited for more Heart of the Unicorn products. That's all I got.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, I'm actually wearing Ross did a print of Burning Wheel
Oh, really?
shirts, and that's where this is from. So.
I'm so sad I missed that run of shirts. That's one of the ones that I kick myself all the time for not getting. So
I've literally have 2 of them. So good. Love them. Yeah. So yeah, this has been a fun little like Ross had a reach out to people being like, hey, like anyone interested in running this? I have a couple things for the scene quest coming out, and I obviously hit him up and was like, let's rock and roll. And I was able to get this together this week, which is my favorite thing to do. Is just get games going and playing. So this has been really fun. I'm Eric Vulgaris everywhere. Yeah, just follow me on Twitter right now because most of my games are kind of like still getting formulated for this year. It's been taking forever. It's been a nightmare for me to get Once Upon a Game set up again because just I don't know what day is a safe day for that compared to all my other obligations and stuff. But I promise you, like Once Upon a Game's coming back. I made these sweet little like new kind of overlay graphics that are like back to the old, but also kind of new and fresher and updated for the next season. So just hang on. More's coming from me for 2019. So with that, thank you, Ross. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, chat. Thank you so much. Seriously, this is super fun. So we'll catch you later.